All right, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can make it through another one. Make sure I got all my doodads and gizmos set to the side, and we're live. What is going on, everybody? Let me just do a quick sound check. Yep, perfect. Awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Did I do the thing? I did the thing. You guys are doing the things in here. Whoa. Yeah. I busted her back out. I have been making sure to hit my gallon of water a day. Let's see. So, William S., hello, hello. Grant Tilley, Sant, hello. Ryan Campbell, what's going on? We got Andy Alphabet here. What's going on, man? Big Dog Status, thank you for checking in. Uncle Tacticus, hello, hello. Yeah, right. Shoot, forgotten Jersey here. Yeah, I was supposed to call you that day, wasn't I? Apologies, but we'll get it worked out. If you're not teaching tomorrow, I'm not teaching tomorrow. We can definitely get that figured out. Let's see, SoCal, what's going on, man? John Crewer, excellent, excellent. Thanks for being here. Adam Hall, same to you. And Dylan Mansell, Willie Everett, Liberty Seeker. Hello to everybody. All right. Well, now that I've said hello to all the cool guys, what are you guys up to? What do you want to talk about? Hello, Mr. Jones. Let me just crack open this room temperature one. There we go. But teaching tomorrow, of course. Okay. I'll yeah, you just I'm available all day tomorrow. So shoot me a text when you're available, and if I don't call you at that time, you call me, and we'll take it from there. So anyway, what is going on with everybody? What have I been up to? Let's see. I just wrapped up teaching a fighting pistol class, had a really good time in that. Went into a rifle class, and then we were supposed to be doing shotgun today and tomorrow. But the student is, I can't remember if he said he was in the National Guard or some branch of the military, and he's on call pretty much for some stuff, so is not available. Anyway, we had a 2-person pistol class, and it was very interesting because we had like this older gentleman who hadn't had any previous training other than some military stuff. He was in the Marines. And but then we had this younger lady in class who this was her first commercial training, like with like defensive side of things, but she competed and stuff like that. So not to turn yet another live stream into the importance of doing some skill-based stuff, but it was very interesting. I mean, the lady and the older gentleman, they were both very open-minded. So like he was fighting off some old muscle memory that he has, of course, been trained in all those years ago. But it was interesting how they were both fighting, doing different things, but it was all stemming from a similar issue. But again, very open-minded on both counts. But it was very cool whenever the lady who had done all that skill-based stuff, when she started to get the martial handling of the gun down, yeah, she was just crushing it, like as soon as she remembered to rack the slide every time, boom, like she was crushing it. It was really cool to see. The diversity that comes to classes is cool. Honestly, one of the coolest parts of the job. It's part of why I like it so much is being able to meet so many different types of folks from different walks of life and stuff like that. Yeah. Catass is here. Hello, sir. Trying to figure out logistics of making it to the fighting pistol in PA in May. It might be my on-call week. Don't think I can do both advanced that weekend. Um, let's see. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can make it work, let's make it work. We're pretty flexible. So, I mean, if we're heading up there, like as long as the class makes, so as long as we get 10 signups, then Willie, if you don't know if you can take the class until the day before, you can sign up for the day before. We won't have a certificate for you in that case because we print the certificates, then haul them with us up there. But anyway, so absolutely we can make that work. What would be some pistol drills to work on if I have 3 targets to work with other than the drill of bills? Yeah, man. So the interesting thing is like, um, you don't have to specifically do quote unquote any of like the skill based stuff, like the skill based, or what am I looking for? You don't have to do the more well known drills or anything like that. Garrett and I, that's what we did that whole live stream about it. You can just take whatever drill you want. So you can be a regular, like fast to drill. So 4 to the heart, 2 to the brain. And just do that as quickly as you're able to. Put it underneath a shot timer, but include the top off in there, all that good stuff. But yeah, you can do Farnham drill. You can do the range master stuff. There's, with 3 targets, you could work on your cadence. I'm a big fan of the cadence drills. So the cadence drills are literally just, I don't know what the 1-5 drill is. Run 7 yards laterally, 1 to 2 shots as you're running. Yep. That's another one. But yeah, so you just put yourself under, again, it's not about being underneath the shot timer necessarily. It's about collecting the data. Because then whenever you look at, what's cool is you can look at your splits. Again, guys, I know some people, Lewis is in here. He's going to be like, why did he just say splits? But what I mean is on the shot timer, it'll show you if on your 6th shot, how long it took you to shoot again after your reload, right? And so if your reload is taking you 4 seconds or 5 seconds, that's a clue that maybe we can practice just our reloads. And then if that's the problem, you don't even have to shoot another round. You just do a bunch of dry practice working on your reloads and stuff like that, What's going on, Donald Rocco? 1 to 5 is usually done with the rifle. 1 shot on first target, 2 on second, 3 on third, 4 on second, 5 on first. Very cool. Hey, I mean, if you're wanting to do it, if you're wanting to do some movement as well, I'm a big fan of Don's. What does he call that? The Xbox. That's a good drill. Saying splits is like saying Voldemort to some. Yep. What's happening? Hello. Not much is happening over here. So anyway, yeah, I mean, just stuff like that. You could do. You've got Hackathorn headshot standards and stuff like that. Those are all solid drills to run. Yeah, Oh, and sorry for the for the cadence drill. You can just work on maintaining that cadence across multiple targets and stuff like that, which just gives you some practice on moving your eyes before the sights and so on and so forth. So basically, get some dice for 5 to the body and 1 to the head type thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I am a big fan of the. Now you couldn't do it like necessarily if what we're trying to do is like create a benchmark, collect data and stuff like that. You couldn't do this, what I'm about to say, for that purpose. But I have been a big fan of not worrying about round counts and making that mental decision between when you stop shooting the heart and go for the brain. And that's what I got from John Holshin. He was real big on that, and what it falls into, in my opinion, is in that same camp of making that decision, whether it's to transition to a gun, like a backup gun or something like that. If you don't actively practice it, you're not going to do it in the real world, right? And so, same thing. If all we do is just practice getting these round counts, 5 to the body, 2 to the head, so on and so forth, but we never practice ourselves, the shooter, making the decision to go from the heart to the brain on our own, you know. So yeah, that's if you're wanting to get some practice in like that, that's what I would do. I would just go shoot the heart 4 to 5 times, and more than 2, less than 6, and then go for a brain shot. Or 2 or 3. So Big Dog Status, any tactical response hoodies for sale? I do have good news for you guys. You have been asking about them. They are not for sale yet. I literally just gave the check to the guy. He said the hoodies should be ready, hopefully within a week. If not, it'll be 2 weeks. He said he cannot imagine it taking longer than 2 weeks, but he's thinking he can get them done in 1. So we will have those available. It's going to be a limited run. I think in mediums, we only did 5 hoodies. And then we did like tops 10 in the other sizes, and some of them may not even be 10. I think like large and extra large for sure and have 10, 2X might have 10, and 3X might not have 10. So if you're curious about it, or if you're wanting one, you're going to want to get one as soon as they go up on the website. Shoot with 2 hands, some with right hand, some with left hand. Yep. Refactor has a few cool targets and deck of cards for drills on limited range. Yeah. Lewis had those. I remember you busting those out back a year or so ago. And then we had a student in the rifle class who was asking about it. Hit me with one of those classics like, "Hey, what do you think about this thing?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." Like, I think Lewis ended up getting a deck or something like that. I can't remember. And he's like, "Oh, good, because I bought it and it's on the way home." It's getting shipped right now. You can do speed limit work. Yep. Yeah, so speed limit stuff, whether that's 5 to the heart, 1 to the brain. But what Dylan's getting at is changing the distance. So if you have like a real nice, like close target, like 3-ish yards, you burn that dude down with 5 to the heart, and then try to make a nice precision shot on one that's further away. And you can increase the distance, like start at 3 and 7, then do like 3 and 10 and 3 and 15, so on and so forth. Speaking of that lady in the rifle class, I mean, we ran some because it was a 1-person class. We had a lot of extra time, so we did some skill-based stuff. And I think we were doing that at the speed limit with the far target at like 40 or 50 yards, and she was like within 3 seconds. She was making it under 3. And then she's like, "You want to run it?" And I was like, "As long as you don't make fun of me for being slower than you, absolutely." Make dot torture torturous again. Yeah. Allen dots, man. Again, if you're wanting to do some full-on fundamental practice, if all you want to work on is your fundamentals, the Allen dots are great. So you don't have to have our Allen dots. You just open up Microsoft Paint, build yourself a little sheet with 4 rows of 3 dots, 1-inch circles, and do the dang thing. You can kind of build your own adventure there, but traditionally it's 10 feet. Top row, you get 1 hit. Second row, you get 2 hits. Third row, you get 3 hits. Fourth row, you get 5 hits. Excuse me. And anyway, so you do that. And the thing is, like, you'll definitely burn through some ammo. Mental fatigue will set in. Physical fatigue will set in. So take your time. Again, that is a skill-based, skill-based drill. So we're not worried about keeping the gun out there the entire time and this and that. Take a break if you need to, so on and so forth. But it's a good time for sure. Final drill of my range trips are shoot primary till empty, reach for the spare that's not there, and then draw the backup. Excellent. Yeah. Hey, that is an excellent practice to have, in my opinion. I know you don't need me to say this, but I'm proud of you. You probably haven't heard that enough. I'm proud of you. That's a good, solid drill to do. It's a good way of closing out your range time for sure. If you carry a backup gun, everybody else who carries a backup gun, steal that. That's yours now. You're doing the same thing that he did. Also going to be testing some homemade stall mat targets. Excellent. I shoot with my mono red deck. Hey man, I've been watching the new set comes out this pre-releases this Friday, so I've been watching a bunch of the early release stuff, early access stuff that the YouTubers and stuff get. So let's not even get down that rabbit hole. Alan Dot's going to work on Alan Dots this first quarter. I'm going to work on Alan Dots first, second, third, and fourth quarter, I think. Half Allen dots, like half a circle, like half-inch stuff. There's a similar dot target called FBI dots. Other than for his mustache. Let's see. Oh shoot, I had this running the whole time. Uh-oh. I don't know how computers work. What are the FBI dots? I'm gonna Google it. What are you doing in here, Lewis? How did your guys' podcast live stream thing go? I meant to tune in this week and forgot because I was teaching. Yeah, that's an excuse. I forgot because I always forget. It's just bringing up the fucking bottle, the bottle one. What's that called? The cutie target or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where we were at, man. I had a good time. Hearn uses him for his rifle class. I haven't had Hearn's rifle class yet. Did his cognitive pistol, so that was a good time for sure. But I don't remember him using them. Went well. Heated debate. Did another episode with Markles yesterday. Hell yeah. Well, was this a heated debate about like, something like something adjacent to the martial lifestyle, or was it like are we talking like a ramen situation again? And did another episode with Markles yesterday. Very cool. So like you were on Markles, like their radio thing, or they were on your thing? No joke, I got a discount at Chipotle due to my mustache. Gave the cashier advice on how to improve his lip sweater. Hell yeah, man. Dude, people underestimate the work that takes into maintaining that, Just imagine how much more well-rounded you would be as a human being if you didn't have to put all that time into that mustache. What kind of wax do you use on your mustache when you're not tying up damsels to railroad tracks? Yeah, sorry guys. This is one of those weeks where I, as usual, did not come in prepared. So, Clubman. All right. Let's see. I will say I was on Shelton's side about the ramen, but James made a good point about eating it with a spoon. I never saw the ramen debate. Like I never went back and watched the live stream. I have heard their arguments separately from there. And I was I'm in a similar camp as James. I just, I cook the way that it way it is on the package, but I didn't know that he had brought up using a spoon, but that's how I do it as well. I use a fork and a spoon because then you get more broth. I get the noodles on the fork and dip the spoon down in the broth and bam, both at the same time, like a regular Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? That's the walking guy one. Okay, you guys are talking about mustache stuff. Isn't that geographical oddity? 2 weeks from anywhere. Let's see. On Monday, Students of Violence Live was about icy conditions in Minnesota. Oh, okay. Markle's radio thing was somewhat related to competition versus serious use of firearms. Okay. I see. I love James, but I was right on that one. I have a big brain question / observation we can talk about. Let's hear it, Dylan. I'm here for it. Yeah, you should have been trying your ramen with a spoon during the bug out weekend. And I think you've at the very least have told me about the James not following the instructions. I have a you know, I'm a stickler to the rules when it comes to a recipe, you know. So like when the package says boil 2 cups of water, then add the noodles for, let them boil for X amount of minutes, then stir in the seasoning packet and stuff like that. I do it all by the book. Um yeah. A solid oh brother reference. Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't. I've never seen "Oh Brother." I'm assuming that's a reference to "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and I've never seen it. My good friend, surprise, never seen the movie. My good friend just received his pistol license. Excuse me. In the mail today. Put the application in early March. Going to try to get him to train at Tactical Response in June with us. Bring it on, man. Absolutely. And if he gives you any shit, let me know. We'll work something out. Well, make him a deal, make him an offer he can't refuse, kind of thing. I think we Americans may be afraid of the trigger on our guns. I would love for you to elaborate. I'll need a little bit more than that. I know that you're typing and texting it in and stuff like that. So, you know, but give me a little bit more than that because I'm curious what you mean by it. But I might agree with you. Lewis, are you with Sunny full time now? So Lewis, I'm going to answer for him because I'm just now seeing this. But he is living in Texas now, down there. Him and Sunny are right next to each other. They do a lot of stuff together and everything like that. So yeah, but Lewis is doing LCAR, so boom. I don't know what this link is, but anyway, so that's what Lewis has going on. It comes in a tube, and the packaging has a guy with a top hat and a cane on it. All right. Consistency target. Oh, looky there. That is a cool one. Gorilla approach. 24 rounds at 3 yards. Small circle equals a 1 round. Well, all circles are 1 round. Shoot from left to right, top to bottom. Take makeup shots as necessary. Par is 25 seconds for 24 rounds. I like it. That's pretty cool. You're right. That is a cool target. And a cool drill. I'll give it to you. Look at Lewis. Listen. And here I am talking mad shit about Lewis all the time. About like Lewis doesn't like talking about skill stuff. Lewis got mad at me for talking about the bill drill one time. That's some good stuff right there. I think that's a great one. So I think that was that you, William S., asking about that earlier? You can back it up. Big circles get 2 rounds. Yep. What was I just looking at? Yeah, what was the yardage on it again? Does it say big circle? It doesn't give the. Oh yeah, 3 yards. Yeah. I mean, you back it up a little bit, right? I mean, that's right around where we shoot the Allen dots from. But yeah, I get it. Just get bill drill fatigue sometimes. Yeah, I get it. The problem is I don't interact with people who harass people about that stuff, right? So like when I was talking about, especially because I was really just getting into the skill-based stuff back then. So it's like, I don't know, I still haven't really met anyone who I don't comment on the internet or anything. So I haven't interacted with someone who's like, well, what's your bill drill? you know? So here we are. So okay, what is the one rule we hammer into people in classes above all others? Finger off the trigger. Every time you touch that gun, you keep that finger away, right? So maybe because we are so scared of the trigger, we suck at touching it. I think that's a valid point. I think it's a valid point. I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much more we get into the depth in depths about it, but so if we think about like fighting pistol, something that we typically bring up, especially if we see people who aren't keeping their finger on the trigger when it's time to shoot, is we talk about how the shooting rule is the opposite of the safety rule, right? When our sights are on target and we've made the decision to shoot, then the finger stays on the trigger. So that doesn't get brought up near as much as the safety stuff, as the safety rule, because we spend more time not shooting than shooting. Um, so how well can those two things, like how well do they balance it out? Lewis says he's your Huckleberry on that talk offline. Oh damn. Or Lewis, log into your alternate account so you can just say whatever you want to say and face no repercussions. That's how the internet works, right? It was the last of the four at it, just saying. Yeah, the trigger thing is just an idea I had after hearing people argue in favor of heavy triggers because you can start pressing and then stop. Um, dude, yeah, that I actually I did run into something similar to that recently. So, mm, I definitely, again, I don't really have anything to add to it necessarily. We're all tired of Bill sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, I really don't have anything to add to it. And think about Cooper, they were pushing 1911s with much lighter triggers. Yeah. Um, I don't know how much would how much does saying, "Hey, keep your finger off that trigger." Are we creating a mental block there? Hmm. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. It it falls in line. I guess it's kind of similar to the uh that lawyer that Akil had come down that one time when I took Akil's pro social pistol skills. Um and the lawyer was talking about how instructors can do, he thinks that they're doing students a disservice because we're making them terrified to ever use their gun, because all we ever talk about is, hey, if you use the gun, like, you're going to jail and it's going to do this and you're going to have to do that and da 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 and this and that. And his whole his whole spiel, and we could get into a debate over what your feelings about this is, but his whole spiel was that criminals don't have a lobby, you know, like, most of the time people aren't trying to make sure that the bad guy uh gets away with whatever he was supposed to get away with and stuff like that, right? So anyway, I feel like that's in a similar vein. If you spend the whole time saying like, hey, make sure you keep your finger off that fucking trigger, then yeah, I mean, I could definitely understand or see where you're coming from. People would hesitate and not want to touch it. They want to get off of it as quick as they can. I'm coming around. I put in the time, energy, and ammo into a 189 bill drill so that I could testify that a 189 bill drill runs into diminishing returns very quickly. Yes. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. Lewis and Dylan out here nerding it out about who's the bigger nerd over the order of rules added. Excellent. Treat all, load it was original, then backstop and muzzle at it, then finger. I think the trigger deal is more primal reflexive response, which includes a rapid instinctive clenching of the hands that happen much faster than conscious thought, right? Josh showed it was on his phone. Okay, very cool. But DeWalt, he could just make some shit up. A lawyer wanting people to shoot people more is a bit self-serving. Fair point. I didn't connect the dots, you know? I wasn't seeing where he was going with it, but you got it figured out. He's like, "Come on, guys. Tell your students to get in more gunfights. I need help." Let's see. So to cat ass, yeah. I mean, and I think that that's the counterpoint, and that's probably why you bring it up. The counterpoint to like, hey, what's the other reason why people might suck at pressing the trigger? And it's because of the the loud noises and the recoil and this and that, and until you're inoculated to it, and it's hard to fight the caveman that's in your brain that wants to smash the trigger and stuff like that, right? So I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm just here to yell at people whenever they miss, and I can tell them to stop smashing the trigger, and then walk away and not give them any more information than that, because that's what Dylan told me to do. Let's see. Might be more productive to phrase it as, you may end up getting arrested, put on trial, etc. So be prepared. Right. Yeah. And it we're getting a little bit into the nuances about it and stuff like that. Like, but I guess, like, words matter. they they have meaning, and especially when we're talking about deadly force, like every word matters kind of stuff, right? So I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, yes, I agree. It might be more productive to phrase it that way. Um, yeah, because I know, like, in the mindset lecture, James, or maybe he doesn't mention it in the lecture, but I know in the book. Actually, no, I know he mentions it in the lecture, because he says the phrase, "Don't be worried about litigation when your life is on the line," right? So that's all well and good, but it's like, does that phrase, how much how much weight does that sentence carry? How much does that pull off of the whole, like, all the other stuff that we're talking about, all the other, especially when we start talking about the, you're going to go to jail, like, this is a process that's going to take years, this is going to cost a bunch of money, and everything like that, yeah. Problem one, saving yourself. Problem two, everything else. Absolutely, yes, I agree. um so, like, but we that right there, the litigation and stuff like that, like, I don't know, I just feel like we I don't know, we spend less time on that part over the whole, like, hey, like, I know we just talked a whole bunch about, like, what could happen, but just so you know, none of that stuff matters when your life is on the line. you know like, we could probably spend a little bit more time balancing that out. I don't know, just something that I've been thinking about. Same thing for the trigger stuff that Dylan's bringing up, right? Maybe we could do a little bit a better job of being like, hey, like, I know we just talked about trigger control, and the gun's going to be loud, and you're going to, the caveman's going to want to do the thing, and safety rules, like, never touch the trigger unless your sights are on target and you made the decision to shoot, da 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 da, like, all that other stuff. Like, maybe we spend a little bit more time on the, hey, like, if your gun's in a safe direction, it's okay. It's okay to, be on the trigger. I don't know. What's your answer to your conundrum you've got there, Dylan? So, like, if you're teaching someone about the trigger now, how are you framing it? Um, let's see. I ain't going, and I'm already warmed up. You maybe. Are you allowed to conceal carry legally in Tennessee when you go to bars? I'm not a cop out answer, but I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not 100%. So I cannot answer that in good faith. I just know what I do whenever I go to places like that. Let's see. So Dylan was wrong as usual, not a big deal. I've been wrong before. I'm right there with you. Don't frame it as a negative, Dylan. It sounds better if you just say I was right. There you go. Got to stay positive. I think you do students right when you explain each of us has to have that line in the sand, and it's going to be in a different place in the sand for each of us. Allowed versus able. Yeah, that's a phrase I've heard before. But I think the book, The Modern Technique, says that knowing your target was the last one added around 1981 or so. That guy, that guy was wrong. See, we're not the only ones who are wrong. Let's see. SoCal asked if Lewis is still rocking the donut of death, and I believe he is, because it was just a few live streams ago that he was giving me shit for still rocking the regular or actually no, he was giving me shit because I said I was going to try the Chevron out. Teach them to touch the trigger and learn it using Super Dave's trigger mapping. Let them see how much pressure and movement it actually takes to drop the sear. Excellent. Hey, I'm glad that's your answer, because that's the first drill that I do in my intro to fighting pistol class. So yeah, I could definitely see. I mean, I see the benefits in starting someone with that drill. Of course, I wasn't thinking about it in the way that you were. I just think that that's an excellent drill, especially when you're just now learning how to shoot and stuff like that. Because it's interesting how, and not that I'm some wizard whenever it comes to this stuff, but it's interesting how people can shoot for a long time and not have ever really watched what their gun does when they're pressing the trigger, you know? Um, like they don't know how the trigger moves, and they don't know what that feeling in the trigger, like what it looks like from the outside perspective when they're working it smoothly to the rear and stuff like that. Um, so I think that there's something to that for sure. Uh, what? That's super cool. I probably can't read this on the live stream, but I've got it pulled up. Thank you for the link. Very cool, dude. I forgot it again. I should have brought that handout. I'm an idiot. Let's see. Donut. Oh, skull for life. Yep. I like it. Let's see. Lewis, yellow big dots are the way. The old chauvinistic chevron. Yep. In Tennessee, you can carry in a bar until the moment you consume alcohol, permit or no permit. Warning, my advice is worth what you pay for it. Brain computer, you are not an idiot. Let's see. Just in case I missed it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I missed it. I didn't get back to you. Will any of y'all be in Vegas next week for SHOT Show? We should do an alumni lunch hang if so. I will not be there. Lewis is going to be in Vegas for SHOT Show. But other than Lewis, I think he might be the only tactical response affiliated person down there. So, you get to hang out with Lewis. And Lewis typically is also hanging out with either Tactical Response alumni or other dudes who are almost as cool as Tactical Response alumni. So, awesome. Thad's going? Motherfucker. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't let me. If I knew Thad was going, then I would have went. I'll have to text him about it. I'm going to start asking students for old TAC-Res handouts and see what shakes out. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't think you can get one any older than what I gave you. Let's see, yeah, I mean, that handout, what was that from? 2009? I guess there could be one from earlier than that. Alcoholics don't run in my family, they drive. Yep. Let's see. Cat asks, I'm on F8's greater than big dots. That's what James was running on his M&P he gave me. Yeah, yeah, but he also didn't, you know, stick to the M&P, you know. That one was 2005. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, whatever you want to run is whatever you want to run, but it sounds similar. I don't know. I think that I don't know. But F8s are great. F8s are great. I can't complain. They're almost a big dot. Let's see. Higher X did miss out on fighting backup trailer. Dude, Catass had these people parallel parking a truck and trailer. Tesla stopped selling full self-driving on February 14th. Better buy before then to avoid paying $100 every month. Dude, that's crazy. So will they have? So you will have to pay $100 for the self-driving mode. They're turning it into a subscription model. If that's the case, big dot with notch, best of both worlds. There you go. There you go. Can't complain. Because if you want to, if you that's probably my old man like yelling at cloud thing is like how many times do companies come out with this thing that's really cool, and or even if it's not like, and it could be a thing that's been out forever, then and we've got to use all the features of this thing this way for decades or longer. um and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, all those features that you're used to using, this and that, yeah, okay, those are going to be behind a paywall now, you know. Yes, right now you can pay $8K and the car has it forever. Otherwise, pay $100 a month, and that won't be an option after the 14th. That's bullshit. Hate it. It's awful. I didn't want a Tesla anyway, but you wouldn't download a car. But that's dumb. It's shitty. It's a bad move. It's anti-customer, anti-consumer, however you want to talk about it. Motherfuckers. I hate subscriptions. We're to the point now where like if you want to if you want to watch all the shows that that you want to watch and stuff like that, you've got to like pay for 6 different streaming services, and some only work on this day and on weekends and holidays and through May. All that stuff, like we're to the point where everything is a subscription, and it is just soul sucking. It is wallet sucking because it's nickel and diming us to death, but then it's also soul sucking because it's like I want to do. Anyway, it's dumb and I hate it. I hate it so much. Way of the backup trailer. Yes, absolutely. I'm down. Just do 5 days of bug out. Though someone was talking about next year's bug out. Like the 31st is on a Thursday. So I'm thinking, this is not set in stone, but next year's bug out, I was already thinking about starting it on Friday. Like having like the class stuff start Friday, do Friday and Saturday. So then that way Sunday people could leave early and not miss out on anything. So anyway, I'm thinking since that, I mean, that's maybe we start the camp out that Thursday night. So if we want it to camp out over New Year's Eve into the new year, all that good stuff. Anyway. Didn't he say M&P was better, but switched back to Glock 19 because he was already so invested in it with mags, parts, and holsters? I'm not sure. That's kind of why I stopped talking, because I was about to be like, wait, but James went back to the Glock 19 and the big dots and this and that. But then I was like, well, actually, I mean, it's not like I ever sat down and talked with him about why he swapped back or this or that. So I could end up sounding like an idiot. So advanced backup red dot pistol. Hell yeah. Night visions have been doing well. Their tritium is bright. Doesn't Markle, I think Paul Markle, student of the gun, I think they have, I could be wrong, but I think they have a sight through night visions. So if I were going to get a brand other than XS sights, that's probably what I would end up swapping to. I'm still saying we need to do backup gun, revolver, and shotgun in 1 week and call it Way of the Fud. You might be on to something, in all honesty. What if we did a 1 day, like a 1 day shotgun class? I mean, we could just do a 2 day shotgun class, but 3 or 4 days doesn't matter. I think you're onto something there, though. Way of the trailer will be a little single axle trailer on days 1 and 2, a little 2 axle on 3 and 4, and a 53 tandem axle trailer on day 5. I like it. M&P got way better since. I'll have to take your word for it. If my gun had AI integrations and DRM, I would be 10K 2.0. All right. I think the deal with was Smith & Wesson is an American company. M&P 10 millimeter is absolutely better than the Glock 20. I do think I have shot that. Isn't that what Lewis will know? But I think that's what Thad was rocking for a while. It wasn't bad. 4 day bug out. Yeah. I mean, why not? You know, it's already so close. I mean, practically Thursday is practically Friday, and Friday's the weekend. So we can all be there the whole time. Night vision Costa sights, okay. And then I was correct about the student of the gun one. 1 day lever gun too. Oh yeah, Tim must teach Way of the Fud. If Way of the Fud happened, I'm telling you, it would be Tim and Dylan teaching that. Yeah, I mean, Dylan is just an old soul, you know, and he's right there with it. Backup revolver, day 1, shotgun day 2. Let's see, I used the blackout rear sight since I'm running an optic. Yep, good call. Down for the 4 day bug out. Yeah, we'll make it work. Fighting 3-gun match and the Way of the Kestrel. Way of the Humana. I thought you were doing a Dragon Ball Z joke there for a little bit. Way of the Kamehameha. Maybe I've been nerding out too much. Let's see. When you see what I do with a K-frame. Speaking of classes this year and bringing people to a tactical response class, I'm going to bring my dad in November after the season's over with. That's awesome, man. Range Master exposure, FUD ties is 1. Interesting. Dude, I don't know, man. Me and you need to have a chat, I think. Because the few people that are... I haven't interacted with like a lot of heavy Range Master people, but the few that I have, they're pretty, like, I don't know. We see eye to eye on a lot of things, you know? So let's make it happen. All due respect. Oh yeah, no, no, absolutely. I know. What's that, Talladega Nights? You can't just say whatever you want and then say with all due respect. It doesn't make it okay. Let's see. Tim must also dress like Elmer Fudd. Yes, absolutely. Joey, beaver tail on a Glock or no? Yeah, a beaver tail on a Glock doesn't bother me a bit. That was one of the things that the Gen 6s, it's like one of their selling points. Or not, it's one of their new update thingies. But anyway, yeah, I'm fine with it. It's one of those things that like I think it does add something without being a detriment, you know? It's not anything that you need to like freak out about. Obviously, it's not a required thing to shoot the gun well. Um, so, but like having it is nice. So I'm fine with it. In fact, I would never go out and like get one of my Glocks, whatever that process is. I don't even know if you can do it, you know. Um, but I'll buy a Gen 6 with it on there. I run a beaver tail. My grip is so high that the slide rubs on the web of my hand. Yeah, I mean it gets me sometimes. That's the thing, and you just deal with it, you know. But yeah, I mean the beaver tail helps with that. You can't just ask people why they're white. Yeah, yes you can. It's in the Geneva Conventions. Fair, more in common. Some different thoughts on what standards mean. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, sometimes words have multiple definitions, right? So they might be looking at a different definition of standards, which I think might be what you just said. Different thoughts on what standard means. Beaver tail on the Gen 6, yes. Adding backstrap on the older gens depends on your hands. Adds too much for my hands. Yeah. So does a employee at Glock set the new gun on a beaver tail? Is there a special beaver that Glock uses? Yeah, it's like the groundhog that tells you, how long winter is going to last and stuff like that. They've got a specific beaver down there and wherever Glock is made at, all that good stuff. I run the medium-sized BT. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on. I'm gonna be medium-sized BT on my Gen 5 Glocks. The medium backstrap, that's the BS, is supposed to make the grip the same as a Gen 3. I don't mean gay when I say gay. The Rangemaster guys I listen to have a big focus on martial gun handling and thinking with a gun in your hand. Yeah, and that's my thing as well. That's how the ones I've interacted with, it's felt very similar. Um, you know, but they do worry more. Even the ones I'm thinking about, they do. They're like, hey, yeah, you should be able to meet this criteria. You know, how do they feel about downrange drills though? I know one of them specifically says you should do downrange drills. So I I don't know about yeah, exactly. Dylan's right there with me. I know how one of them feels. Specifically says you should do it. It's on the chart, yeah. So yeah, but they're like, yeah, you should whatever, fucking the casino drill. Yeah, you should be able to shoot the casino drill in 21 seconds. And if you can't, then fucking practice kind of thing, like they do take like the skill stuff as a measurement of where you are at as a shooter. And I guess or maybe marksman, I don't know how to describe it, like pistolero kind of thing. Like now, speaking of words having, different definitions and stuff like that, are you um, you know, because you can do, and we all know this, because you have a real nice bill drill or a casino drill or this or that, we all know that does not mean that you are a fighter with that gun in your hands, right? Just means that you can run the hell out of it. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to handle yourself when a situation happens. So there's a difference between, I think that's where maybe some of the mindset falls separately for some of those guys. Listen, he had a guy that got upset that was one step in front of him run through the devanged snake drill. Yep. upset that another student was one step in front of him. Yeah, and dude, it I'd pay good money to see Jay Gibson and Dustin Solomon fight in an elevator. Who's Dustin Solomon? Is he the dude who did the Building Better Shooters? Is that who? Is that who that is? Because I know if it is, yeah, I know someone else who'd like to fight that guy. That's funny. That guy. um, let's see. Upset. Anyway, so yeah, but that is a detriment of having more of a skill focused thing because yeah, I mean, anytime we have a student who that's their background, like all they've done is the skill stuff, like we've joked about it 100 times. That 180 rule, man, they freak out. And nah, you do shooting on the move with those guys, and as soon as the line gets even a little bit squirrely, they're hesitating and looking around. And what's funny is that we'll be doing like the shooting on the move forward or back, and they'll be scared because they'll see like no one in front of them, or they'll see people in front of them, and so they'll look like this while they're doing that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you're the problem. Call is from inside the house, like, get your shit together. People can have really strong feelings about downrange drills if done very incorrectly, may even require medical intervention. Yep. Casino drill can be scary. Absolutely. Dustin Salamander, yep, that guy. And yeah, I did see what you said, Lewis. Yeah, that is him. Yes, that is who I was thinking of. So let's see. If the downrange shit makes you feel uncomfortable, you shouldn't carry a gun in public. Yeah. Why can't we take skill and martial classes? Why do we hold ourselves back? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you should do both. You should do both. And it's one of the compliments that I do give to like Akil, and even to John Hearn. I think both of them do a very good job of like combining the martial aspect with the skill side as well. You know, like I still use Akil's quote, like pro social pistol skills. We shot the casino drill. We're shooting some other stuff like under a shot timer. We're shooting some of their standards and stuff like that. But that was also the class where Akil asked everybody, why do we carry a gun? And of course, everybody says to save a life, to protect people, so on and so forth. And he hit them with the, well, let me put it to you guys this way. You carry a gun because you may have to shoot a motherfucker in the face today, you know? And I mean, like, you don't get much more, you don't get much more, for lack of a better term, real about what carrying the gun means. Even like protecting the people, saving the people, like all that stuff is still true, but to do those things, it means you may have to shoot someone in the face, right? So yeah, you just don't get much more real about what it means to do those things you want to do than to just put it out there like that, right? So anyway, you guys have heard me talk about this 100 times. So yes, you should still take skill-based classes. And you should take martial classes. You should take the tactics focused classes, and you should take the skill focused classes, because it's all on the list: mindset, tactics, skill, and gear. So like, I don't know, man. And if you don't want to go train with weirdos, like if you don't want to go and worry about being around those dudes who that's all they do, like when you shoot your, fucking whatever it is, your 5-second bill drill or whatever. Yeah, if you don't want to worry about them being like, oh, why, like you shouldn't even have that gun or what have you. If you don't want to worry about that, just come and take fast and accurate pistol. At the very least, you will shoot a bunch of drills that James picked out as skill-focused drills that he thought was worth teaching you guys, that you can take home and practice. Speaking of classes, I know the PA stuff got brought up. We do have some classes scheduled up there in PA. Rocco training was in here. We're going to be up there in Jersey. All that good stuff, guys. I think we've got classes scheduled out to August. I'm going to work on the rest of the 2026 schedule. Once again, if there's a class that you're wanting to take, let me know some dates, send them my way, send the class my way. I've got some options. In fact, Dylan, you should just text me when you want me to put that revolver class on, because we don't have one yet, and the fall is wide open, which is like the best time to do it. So just text me those dates that you'd like to see it on, man. For everybody else, same thing. If you got a class that we haven't had in a while that you've been interested in taking, vehicle tactics or something like that, let me know. We'll try to get it on the schedule for you. Otherwise, keep spreading the good word. We still have first-time student discount. So if you have somebody that you haven't been able to talk into coming down here yet, just let them know. You can save them $100 off of the class. Tell them that I am giving you, specifically you, a deal, and not to let anybody else know, because it's just for you guys. But yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing. I appreciate you tuning in as always, and this is the way. I'll see you next week. Now I'm going to get up and press those buttons. Uh-oh. This is the way. Press the buttons. Where did it go?